I've got a few questions for you, Jules. It's been a year unlike any other for you and the boys. How does it feel to be here at the gathering, cocooned in the arms of your Alarm family?
Well, good morning, my Alarm family. I love you all. Thanks for being here for us. I think you all know, I make it very, very open to the Alarm family. I couldn't have got here this weekend without all of you just gently pushing me and the family on to believe, to honour Mike's wishes. Obviously, it's been an excruciating, difficult 9 months, but it's been an incredibly beautiful 9 months, and it always struck me the way Mike spoke actually about when he lost his mum. He spoke very eloquently at her funeral, and we all loved Mike's mum, didn't we? She was a big part of the gathering. She used to make tea and make sandwiches for us. But when she died, Mike spoke and said, "Death is as beautiful as birth." And at the time, I thought it was quite an unusual thing to say. But now, losing Mike, I understand. And I think I've just had to, I don't want to say be like Mike, because I'm not Mike, I'm Jules, but he gave me the strength with all of you. It was Mike that created the gathering. It was Mike that really cherished the direct connection that he had with all of you, and that he wanted to nurture it and foster it. And I was thinking about it this morning, that he set the MPO, the Michael Peters organisation, up in '92, and that was because Mike always wanted to be able to have a direct, it wasn't like the fans, you know, I don't like use of the word fan, it kind of suggests fanatical, and I've never thought of you all as fanatical, I've thought of you as our friends, and I hope you feel that too. And that's why for Mike and I the gathering was incredible, to be able to bring you all to our hometown, for us not to have to pack our cases, which was an added bonus, and the whole idea was role reversal. And I think, how many have we done now? 32, I think. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. But I'll be honest, when we lost Mike quite suddenly, I know it was a big shock for us all. And in those last 2 days, we managed to bring him home. And the one thing I want to say to you, because I want to be honest about it, is that in that last year, you know, I think you know from my socials that the minute Mike got diagnosed, I did not feel like he would make it through. So I had been mourning for nearly 2 years, I guess. But Mike completely believed he was going to get through, and I'm so grateful for that. Right to the very end, he had 2 days on this planet where the Christie told him there was nothing that they could do for him. And he slipped away peacefully with me, Dylan and Evan around him in the bedroom. And with Evan, ironically, we've got to have a bit of black humour here, with Evan playing alarm songs at Mike's bedside, and Mike had just a sort of gentle smile on his face. But I looked at Evan and kind of mouthed, "How do you know all these songs?" And I didn't know that Evan had been slipping away to the rehearsal room with Mike before Mike got admitted to the Christie. So over the last year, he'd just been, I guess it's in his DNA. So I'm going off piste, but I just want to say that I think back then, I didn't honestly think that I'd be able to put the gathering on. But Mike laid down the rules, and I'm never, ever, ever going to let Mike Peters down. So I feel ambitious about the gathering now, and I hope you are all going to keep this amazing gathering of people together. It's not about musicians on this stage and you there. It's about us all being together. We couldn't do what we do without you. You couldn't do what you do without us. So it's a mutual, beneficial relationship. So let's keep it going. I think you probably read, but I really feel a desire to take the gathering home. So I hope you all agree that we should take it back to North Wales. What do you think?
I think that is a yes from the Alarm family there. So behind every brilliant and talented person, there's an equally phenomenally talented driving force always, and somebody who's equally as eloquent. Mike was always a step ahead with his planning. And Jules, you're no different at all. We've received lots of questions about the new album, the book. Can you tell us a little bit about your plans, please?
Well, Mike certainly left me with a lot of responsibility and a big legacy. So, rewinding, Mike was quite poorly 3 years ago, you probably remember, with pneumonia. He didn't make the Red Rocks events. We had 2, 6 months apart, 4 years ago. So that probably got me ready for what I'm dealing with now. What was I talking about? Andy Brown was always telling me to keep it short. The plans.
We're doing fun time.
Yeah. So I never ever thought that this was going to happen. I thought when I got Mike out of the hospital after pneumonia, and he basically relapsed with his leukemia, I just honestly thought cancer was behind us. He looked so well, he had so many plans. He was going to, New Beginnings, by the way, was nothing to do with me. Mike designed that poster in the January after the gathering 2 years ago. Designed the poster with all that enthusiasm he had, ready to announce the next gathering. It was New Beginnings because Mike, I never ever got involved or influenced Mike's musical direction. He was a very strong personality. We were very much in love. We did lots of things together, but we also did lots of things apart. He would go off on the road when the kids were little. I would stay at home. So we were a strong partnership, but very much individuals. And he decided that he wanted to go out on the road, New Beginnings. He was going out as a solo artist. You might remember his pedal board on the Big Country Tour last year. He started that whole idea of the pedal board long time ago, I think around about 2012, and he loved the freedom and the flexibility that it gave him. So he had built the biggest pedal board you'd ever see, and he believed that he was going to get through onto the next level of treatment at Core Rittenham. And he planned a New York gathering, a world tour. We were hiring a tour bus, and it was just really going to be me, him, Andy LeBrow, of course. We're like a throuple, me, Andy, and he had the idea of Evan coming along and maybe jumping on drums when appropriate, me maybe doing a few keys as and when needed, but really the force of him with us as the garnish. So that's what he was so excited about it, bless him. And I feel really happy that in that last year he was just full of ideas for, as he headed into his late 60s. He was going to be like Bob Dylan, constantly on the road. So what we have to deliver now is the legacy that he wanted. He's written this amazing new album, and the determination I saw in him, he's always been determined, that's why I fell in love with him. He's an alpha male, he knows where he's going, and it's our job to support him. And so when he started writing the Transformation album in October, before he headed into the Christie Hospital, he was so focused. He played over 40 shows with Big Country, and in between his chemotherapy, he was in the studio with the amazing George Williams. Can I just give a big shout out for George, our record producer for over 20 years. It's really important that George is in the band with us. He's the musical director of the band. If you listen to a lot of the nuances last night and obviously tonight, you'll see the way he's fine-tuned backing vocals, the way we end songs. I think we should do some kind of quiz next year here to see if you've spotted the different nuances. But Mike loved George, and so for 20 years he would, I think Evan explained, Mike was quite shy about delivering his new songs to people. It's quite a feeling of being exposed. But with George, he never felt that feeling. He could go with George and say, what do you think of this melody, George? What do you think of this idea? So it's an absolute joy, like I say, to have him in the band. But we finished Transformation the day before Mike went into the Christie to receive CAR-T therapy. He put the final touches to the album. And over the last few months, you might have seen in the Red, I know a lot of you have been to the Red, We have had listening parties and we've listened to Transformation, and boy, was that, you know, you talk about grief counselling. I think we all grieved Mike together in those early months and will continue to do so. There's nothing like being in the village where Mike was born and blasting out the album, and me looking at you, you looking at me, us crying. But it was an amazing, beautiful thing. 1 week after the funeral, you know, this is why you are our family.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, you've got the alarm coming out, the album coming out.
Yeah, I had to delay the release of the album, and thank you for being understanding. It's all finished, it's all done, but to do it justice, it's me that has to lead on it. I have to bring in the PR people. We've got Ingrooves Virgin behind us, led by Lloyd Hemmel, who is the head and a massive alarm fan. He spoke very eloquently at the funeral. But to put all that together, it takes time. And I think you'll all agree that, you know, we need to really do Mike proud with the release of Transformation. So that is ongoing next year. Obviously, we've got the London show that we're really excited about, the day after Mike's birthday on February 26th. And that weekend, the plan was, before we got the London show, to host a special birthday weekend at the Red. And Evan's already told me how he wants to, you know, do a best of all his favourite songs. And I love it that Evan, I have nothing to do with these sets. He's very much like Mike in the way that he knows what he wants. And I love him for that, because, you know, this is Evan taking it forwards. I honestly thought that it was my time to stay off the road. Going on the road's hard work. I'm 50. What am I, 58?
I think we all know how proud Mike was of his boys, and like you can see it in your face just talking about them now. You must be so proud of both Dylan and Evan. Can you tell us a bit about the Red and how it's been a real salvation for the boys as well as you? And what's the boys' role at the Red?
I love the boys, but they can be a bit annoying at times. Wet towels off the floor, onto the radiator, flush the toilet. I'm such a fucking Nike. Yeah, sorry, no swearing in the daytime. I can swear in the Red. No, I love my boys, and God, they've been my saviour. You know, let's not put too fine a touch on it. Mike was my big love. And I was with him for 39 years, and I know my story is relatable because a lot of you have either lost your partners, or, you know, you look at my story and you think, we're all getting older. I know people come into the Red and say, we get scared about what happening to us, you know, and hopefully me being open and so grief-stricken, I hope I can give people the hope that we will get through it. You know, Mike said to me, he never believed he was going to die, and we had some hilarious conversations. And I was like, Mike, can we have the conversation? And he'd be sat there, you know what he was like? No, I'm not going to die. Will you stop making out that I'm going to die? Because I'm not going to die. And when I die in the fullness of time, you will be fine, Trixie Dixie. Everything is going to be fine. And that's honestly how he was. So even through to the last couple of days, it wasn't that he was trying to pretend he wasn't going to die. He just genuinely believed he was going to get through it. And I'll always love him for that. And the boys, they're just like their dad. You know, I'm open with them when I'm feeling it, and boy, do I feel it sometimes. You know, I wake up, I usually check into my Facebook, and most of you lot are there sending me little messages, which perks me up. But before that, you know, I'll be like head in the pillow, thinking, for fuck's sake, how am I going to face the day without Mike? Because, you know, living with Mike was a lot of fun. He was adventurous, exciting, kind. One funny story, probably inappropriate, but being rock stars, we have a bath in our bedroom. So you've got the bed and then you've got the bath. Mike loved a bath. And so every day we'd go about our own business, but generally in the evening it was a bit like a hot tub. So he would phone and go, All right, Trixie, beers are in the fridge, see you upstairs in the hot tub. And he loved it, and we put the world to rights, and we'd make our plans for the next day. Life was fucking amazing with Mike. Ever since he died, I'd like to point out I have had a bath.
You're more of a shower girl these days.
No. The routine of the bath in my bedroom I couldn't do. As soon as I started the taps, I started crying. I'm like, this is miserable. Don't have a bath. So what did I do? And I know I'm lucky to have somewhere to move into. I don't want to come across like Princess Peters. But I moved into the penthouse for a weekend to try and clear my head. Get away from the nagging, if I'm honest. I know this answer's supposed to be about the boys, but I love them. But we all know we're parents, aren't we? It's, you know, when they've got their houses, I'm going to go in and blow it all up. So I thought I'd move into the penthouse for a weekend, and I've only just checked out to get on the bus to come here. But if any of you stayed in the penthouse, it's got a beautiful bath. So I've got my bath routine back, you'll be pleased to hear. And every night I have my bath there, because I never had a bath with Micah. Just to reassure you all.
I did say that there'll be untold stories today, and there it is, the bath time ritual.
But Dylan and Evan, you're amazing. Are you out there watching Mummy?
You better be.
We work together and we love together, and I want to say I always am honest with them, so I don't like fake, so I've never faked anything in my life. But with Dylan and Evan, I go up to them sometimes, bless them, I'll walk into the red and I'll go, Dylan's there, super cool, managing the whole place, and I'm like, Dylan, I'm really feeling it today. And he looks at me and says, oh God, no, please don't cry in here. And I go into the back where they're washing up. I like washing up in the back. And then everyone at Eata's there baking the cakes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really feeling it. But it's great, you know, I'm a part of the community where I'm not bottling it up. I don't bottle it up with you. That's my message to people, don't bottle it up. Come talk to me, I'll help you. And the boys help me. And they're like Mike. They put their arms around me and they go, it's okay, Mum. It's normal for you to feel like this. So I love you, Dylan and Evan. I love you for being amazing sons.
What you just said about going to the kitchen, singing Eater, it really does highlight just how the red really is a salvation. Last night, I know I was in the crowd speaking to people, and I think we all took a big, deep breath when Walk Forever came on, and you and Evan just hit the, what's the phrase? Hit the ball out the park. It was incredible. And it was incredible to see everybody's reaction. Evan's musical talents will be on show again later today after that epic performance last night. But tell us a bit more about Evan and friends coming together. You've already mentioned about George, but what about Kengi, and what about how you've invited, obviously Billy, Chris Summerhill, Ian, Matt today. Tell us a bit about how that all came together for the gathering.
Well, okay, look, you know, I never ever intended for the alarm to continue after Mike died. Mike was whether we like it or not, he was the instigator, the leader of the alarm from the beginning, and obviously the alarm continues way beyond 1991, we all know that. So I had no idea about Evan, like I said earlier. I am not stage mom, okay? I was looking maybe for a bit of peace and solitude. You know I love the red, and that's where I'm happiest. I'd said to Mike a couple of years, actually at the gathering 2 years ago, for the first time in my life, bearing in mind I've been on a tour bus since I was 19, I actually struggled on the tour bus in New York and on the tour bus outside this venue. And I turned to Mike and I said, you know what, darling, I think maybe my time is done and I'm so grateful. I never intended to be in the band. Mike brought me in. I didn't want to because I thought all you lot would kill me.
Thanks for not doing that.
Yeah, I've been honest with you about that, you know, being the wife and all of that nonsense. But Mike said, what, you're not going to do it because you think people might not like you? Oh, disappointing. So I lost a stone in those rehearsals. And
Tell me your secrets.
Walked out on stage at Bath Knowles and you know, generally you were all amazing and welcome me in, and off we went. But yeah, so it's organic, authentic. Evan just finding his own way. Evan coming to me and saying he wanted to sing at the funeral. Me saying, oh, Ev, that's lovely, but you know, I think that's too much, darling. Evan saying, no, I want to. I'm going to do it for Dad. What am I going to do? Let him. You know, it's not my job to control what he wants to do. He sang wonderful. It was incredible. The bird came in. I don't really believe in all that stuff, but I think as a unified family, we probably wanted to believe it. Landed on Mike's guitar, and it's just followed from there. You know, Mike was the one that booked those 4 transformation weekends because he believed he was going to be singing and performing for you all. And then Evan, me and George spoke and said, we've got to honour Mike. It was tough, you know, 1 week after the funeral, you all made it happen for me because not one of you asked for a refund, and you all showed up, and you all turned up. It was incredible. Thank you, everyone. I can see all your faces that all turned up at the Red. And we just kept finding our way. And you know, Evan had never before, he performed through stage school, Tick, I'm the Nag. He was a brilliant drummer, as you saw last night. Dylan's actually the one that's the brilliant musician, but that's just because I wanted them to enjoy the benefits of being able to go and play piano and guitar. We all know, all of us who can play, it's the best therapy in the world. So it's just been an organic thing. We have no idea where it's going to go, but I think the way the last 9 years have evolved, I do feel a sense of something of Mike, the son of, the DNA, Evan finding his own way, Evan telling me what songs he's going to play. You know, Thursday, gathering. Like he said, you know, he didn't know what to play, and then out he went there because he can play pretty much every song from 1982 right through to this current day. So it's down to Evan really how now he wants to lead. But I think with Kangi by his side, you've got the youth, and again it's authentic. Yeah, Kangi's the son of Belith, who's obviously my choir, my sister, who has been an incredible love and support through not just this year, many years. And Kangi grew up on the alarm, you know, but he grew up being driven around by Mike, being Dad, and Mike drove them to the big country shows in Ireland, and they just played big country. I think Mike was pretty frazzled by the time he arrived into Ireland, but Mike just played non-stop big country because Evan and Kangi loved big country back then. So do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like you've got the kids at the front. You know, I'll pop up to do Walk Forever and Spirit. George, we need George because he's the musical director and can keep everyone on track. And then, of course, the incredible Dave Morate, who Mike loved to the moon and back, you know, was our sound guy, but North Wales boy, got that same kind of attitude as us. Dave was on that whole tour. The tour that Mike did as a solo artist, because we couldn't take a band with us. Mike had just had his first chemotherapy, so he had to play all the status quo shows on his own, because he just shaved all his hair off. The Christies didn't even want him to do all that, but Mike needed to do it, to stay alive, to keep moving forwards. So Dave, if you're out there, thanks mate, there you go.